I'll tell you, Berreyesa has been knocking on the door for years, always placing.
Well, and now we got two non-traditional states.
Sure.
Greco or
Nevada
otherwise.
Nevada for Berreyesa.
Tennessee for Tommy Brackett. And Brackett kind of going with that overlock there. Berreyesa, last year in route to winning Fargo, got a 5 in every single match.
Yeah, that's insane. He is now at Cornell. And Berreyesa has been dominant again throughout this bracket. Brackett, on the other hand, had to come back from a big hole. There's a headlock. They don't call it a slip. They do call it a slip.
Yeah, the ref called it a slip. Matt and the
ref called
chairman
it
and judge called it a slip.
Called it a slip, but Brackett was down big to Dantzler and came back and looked great.
Yeah, that match was crazy. It was 6-0. Dantzler really coming out, looking the part. Obviously TC's kid, and then Brackett just clawing his way back in, You know, Brackett's a guy who has made no bones about the fact that he loves Greco. He doesn't really care about freestyle much, or folk style for that matter. He wants to be a Greco star. He wants to be a guy on the senior level. Berreyesa dabbles quite a bit more in freestyle. But, you know, New York RTC, they got a couple guys, John J. Chavez on the senior level, Berreyesa here, that do Greco, and we got arm spin attempt shut down with a passive. So Brackett going to go down. Brackett's coach is not happy with that, saying he had an underhook, which is correct. Berreyesa going to get his first turn on top. We haven't gotten to see a lot of the force parterre, the belly down force parterre, and part of that's because we've seen some quick techs, part of it's because we've seen some big throws on the feet, so it hasn't been as much need to call passive. Berreyesa coming out front here.
Well, frankly, I like when there is not force parterre because that means the wrestlers are dictating it themselves, right? As opposed
they're figuring out on their feet.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to the referees. And you can't blame the referees when they do call it because nobody's scoring, right? But
yeah.
But you want that to be the last resort. So
Berreyesa, 82 kilos, is about 180. So do you see him, you know, if he's able to crack the Cornell lineup, 74 or 84?
Probably 74. You know, Dean, he's a little small. Berreyesa is a little small for 84, and he's also, Cornell also has Max Dean.
Right. And they got Chavez at 65, and then you got Womack at 74. Womack was an All-American. Now, he was an All-American at
2 years ago.
65, Womack, but so Berreyesa gonna be in some dogfights, but luckily for him, he loves these international styles, so he's got plenty of wrestling to do.
Yeah, and you know, he's gonna be a freshman, right? But you have an All-American at 65, you have an All-American at 74, you have an All-American at 84 in the Cornell lineup, so it's gonna be tough to break through.
So still 1-0 here in favor of Berreyesa. Last 80 seconds of this first period. Both these guys, Fargo champs, as I mentioned. Brackett has previously placed at the senior level open. Berreyesa, I don't believe, has ventured up to the senior level just quite yet. For open, he did wrestle in the Bill Farrell a couple weeks ago. Brackett kind of taking some ground here. Berreyesa trying to dig in.
Referee calling for action. Very tight match thus far. Not a whole lot of force in the issue by either guy. Brackett remains committed to that arm drag, or that Russian tie.
Final 15 seconds here. Hope everyone has been enjoying our coverage of the U.S. Open. All Greco and women's freestyle today. Men's freestyle going to get started tomorrow. But right after this, we're going to be going into the senior Greco semis, senior women's freestyle semis. I will be calling senior Greco, whatever mat that is on, and Andrew Spay will be calling senior women. So for you Greco heads, you'll be able to continue watching.
They called caution at 2 there, Nomad, which makes it 3-0 at the break. Yeah, a lot of good stuff still to come this evening, and tomorrow they start the guys start the leg grabbing.
Coach Ahad in Berreyesa's corner. Not familiar with Brackett's coaches, minus Andy Bisick.
Yeah, one of them is Andy Bisick. Back to action. 3 minutes to decide it. 3-0 Berreyesa, all on cautions.
Kind of got tied up there in the middle. Berreyesa trying to push out, clear off. Digging in now. Not much in the way of knee fight from either guys. Berreyesa now digging that righty underhook. And another caution in 2 here. White paddled.
What was it for?
I don't know.
With the head?
Neither did Andy Bisick.
Berreyesa doing a great job now holding center.
And the
Brackett
thing
on the outside the entire time for a long period of time here.
The thing with Brackett, though, is he's not a big move guy, right? You know, Demas, Mantanona, Omania, these guys we kind of saw in his last few matches, they're big move guys, right? You're down 3-0. Well, I can go in the bag of tricks. Brackett's more of takedown, step out, right? He'll get you on big move in your position.
He's also very good in pace.
Yes.
He's not going to fade.
So Brackett throwing his hands up.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand what it is either. I mean, what is it for?
Coach wants to have a talk with the chairman. Chairman not having any of it.
I'd like to know what the caution's for.
I know we're kind of far away from the official on the mat, so it's hard to say what he's dinging him for.
Well, it should be explained, right? I think. I mean, you can't just say caution 2 and
be done with it. Yeah.
5-0, and there hasn't been a technical point.
I mean, it's hard, right? You know, it's not Berreyesa's fault. They're calling, you know, they're not liking something Brackett's doing, and so Berreyesa's going to take the points, as would anyone else.
You see Brackett starting to open up more as we go under a minute to go.
Yeah, he's going to get a sprint going here. Tried another 2-on-1. 50 seconds to go. Takedown and 2 guts is what would give him the lead.
Yep, he'd need the outright lead because 2 cautions, right?
Yeah, 2 cautions hanging on him.
Credit Berreyesa with staying in there and keeping composure.
Wow. They're about to caution him out of the match.
That would have been
the match.
The match.
Yeah.
I think it's leading with the head. Because on that one particular, he really dove in there with his head. Can hear Brackett's corner to the right of us confused, thoroughly confused. And see, there it was again. Brackett really leading in there with his head.
You know, Berreyesa, right? Brackett leaning a little more. Big flex in Berreyesa, gets his stop sign. He will be sitting in the trials final.